From the Union Cabinet's approval of caste data in the upcoming census to Donald Trump's upbeat statement on the India US trade deal, here's today's news wrap. In a landmark decision, the Union Cabinet has approved the inclusion of caste data in the forthcoming population census, marking a significant policy shift. Announced by Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav, the move aims to enhance the government's understanding of India's complex social demographics.
The Cabinet Committee of Political Affairs has decided today, that is 30th April 2025, that caste enumeration should be included in the forthcoming census. Congress governments have always opposed caste census. Caste was not included in all the census operations conducted since independence. In 2010, then Prime Minister late Dr. Manmohan Singh ji had assured the Lok Sabha that the matter of caste census should be considered in the cabinet. A group of ministers was formed to consider this subject. Most of the political parties had recommended caste census. Despite this, Congress government decided to conduct only a survey of caste instead of a caste census. That survey is known as SECC. It is well understood that Congress and its Indie alliance partners have used caste census only as a political tool. As per Article 246 of the Constitution of India, the subject census is listed at 69 in the Union list in 7th schedule. According to Constitution of India, census is a union subject. Some states have conducted surveys, I am repeating the word, surveys to enumerate castes. Some states have done this well, while some others have conducted such surveys purely from a political angle in a non-transparent way. Such surveys have created doubts in the society. Considering all these facts and to ensure that a social fabric is not disturbed by politics, caste enumeration should be transparently included. I am emphasizing the word transparently included in the census instead of surveys. This will strengthen the social and economic structure of our society while the nation continues to progress. Under the leadership of our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, the Cabinet Committee of Political Affairs has decided today, that is 30th April 2025, that caste enumeration should be included in the forthcoming census. This demonstrates that a government is committed to the values and interests of a society and country. Like in the past, when a government had introduced 10% reservation for the economically weaker sections of the society without causing any stress in any section of the society.
In other news, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has issued a strong message to Prime Minister Narendra Modi following the recent terror attack in Pahalgam. Speaking at a press conference, Rahul urged the Prime Minister not to waste time and to take immediate, decisive action. His remarks come amid growing concerns over national security and the government's response to such incidents.
28 people have been killed in cold blood. Okay? It is pretty clear who is responsible for this. The people who are responsible for this must pay a price. The Prime Minister has to take action, right? And the action has to be clear and it has to be strong, without any confusion. The Prime Minister must not dilly-dally, must not waste time, must make it very clear that India is not going to tolerate this type of nonsense. So he needs to act. I want to say one other thing which is frankly बहुत ज़रूरी है और आज ये शायद कास्ट सेंसस से भी ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। मैं आज कानपुर गया और वहाँ पे जो टेररिज्म के विक्टिम थे उनसे मैंने बात की, परिवार से मैंने बात की। कोल्ड ब्लडेड तरीके से उनके बेटे को मारा गया है, बिना मर्सी के। और 28 लोगों को ऐसे मारा गया है, बहुत सारे लोग घायल हुए हैं। मैं इस पे कमेंट नहीं करना चाहता हूं ये कैसे हुआ। मैं सिर्फ ये कहना चाहता हूं कि जिन लोगों ने ये किया है, जो भी हैं, कहां भी हैं, they have to pay for this, and they have to pay for it properly, not in some half-hearted way, ऐसे आलतू फालतू तरीके से नहीं। they have to pay for it properly, कि इनको याद रहे कि हिंदुस्तान के साथ ये नहीं किया जा सकता है। हमने क्लियरली ऑपोजिशन की और सरकार की मीटिंग में क्लियर हमने लाइन दी है, यूनानिमस लाइन, कि जो हुआ है एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं है। और पूरा का पूरा ऑपोजिशन 100% सपोर्ट सरकार को देगा और दे रहा है। नरेंद्र मोदी को एक्शन लेना है, एकदम एक्शन लेना है, और पूरा का पूरा विपक्ष उनके साथ खड़ा है। जिन लोगों ने ये किया है, दे हैव टू पे द प्राइस फॉर दिस। जो परिवार है, उन्होंने आप लोगों को मेरे थ्रू एक मैसेज दिया है। एक्चुअली प्रधानमंत्री जी को उन्होंने मुझे कहा कि आप प्रधानमंत्री जी को ये बताइए, तो मैं 28 जो हमारे शहीद हैं उनके साइड से प्रधानमंत्री को आपके माध्यम से मैसेज दे रहा हूं। प्रधानमंत्री जी, उन्होंने कहा है कि हमारे जो बच्चे हैं वो शहीद हुए हैं, हम चाहते हैं कि आप उनको शहीद का दर्जा दीजिए, रिस्पेक्ट दीजिए। आई एम सेइंग दैट 28 people have been killed in cold blood. Okay? It is pretty clear who is responsible for this. The people who are responsible for this must pay a price. The Prime Minister has to take action, right? And the action has to be clear and it has to be strong, without any confusion. The Prime Minister must not dilly-dally, must not waste time, must make it very clear that India is not going to tolerate this type of nonsense. So he needs to act. That's what I'm saying. He can act in whatever time frame he thinks necessary, but he has to act soon.
Shukriya.
I think you heard what I said.
Yeah, Shukriya, Shukriya.
I think you heard what I said. I said, let me speak. I'm not advocating anything. I'm being very clear. The people who've done this need to pay a price. Okay? And the Prime Minister has to act on it now, firmly. He should not dilly-dally. He should not be in a confused state. Thank you.
Meanwhile, tensions are rising at the India-Pakistan border as military chiefs from both sides communicate via a hotline. India has formally cautioned Pakistan over unprovoked firing along the line of control in the wake of the Pahalgam attack. The high-level military exchange coincides with emergency discussions by the Indian Cabinet Committee on Security led by Prime Minister Modi. Tensions continue to mount between India and Pakistan following the deadly terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam on April 22nd, which claimed 26 lives. In a major development, the Directors General of Military Operations from both countries held a conversation over the hotline. The Indian side reportedly warned Pakistan against unprovoked firing along the line of control. This communication took place on Tuesday amid a spike in border violations and increasing diplomatic hostility. The Indian government is in full crisis management mode. A high level cabinet committee on security, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has met twice since the attack. Although there is no official statement from the center yet, sources confirm that the CCS has been actively reviewing the security landscape in Jammu and Kashmir. In its first meeting held on April 23rd, the CCS decided on several punitive steps against Pakistan. These include the suspension of the Indus Waters Treaty, the closure of the only operational land border at Atari, and a downgrade of diplomatic relations. These steps have already begun to take effect. In the past 6 days, 786 Pakistani nationals have exited India via the Atari Wagah border. This number includes 55 diplomats, their dependents, and other support staff. Alongside them, 8 Indian citizens holding Pakistani visas have also returned. 1,465 Indian nationals, including 25 diplomats and officials, have crossed over into India from Pakistan since April 24th. Among them were 151 Pakistani citizens who hold long-term Indian visas. The evacuation and diplomatic freeze come in direct response to the April 22nd attack in Pahalgam, which is being linked to cross-border terror elements. As New Delhi toughens its posture, political parties are also responding. The Congress party has issued a formal statement expressing deep anguish over the Pahalgam attack and has directed all members to maintain discipline and consistency in public communication. This follows public backlash against comments made by Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. Senior Congress leaders like Shashi Tharoor and Vijay Wadetwar have also come under scrutiny. Stay tuned for more updates on India's response to Pakistan, cross-border developments, and the evolving security situation in Jammu and Kashmir. In other news, US President Donald Trump has stated that a trade deal with India is coming along great and could be signed very soon, with just weeks remaining before the 90-day pause on US imposed reciprocal tariffs expires in July. Both nations are accelerating negotiations. India is offering rare trade concessions, including cuts on agricultural tariffs and the inclusion of a forward MFN clause.
India's coming along great. I think we'll have a deal with India. The Prime Minister, as you know, was here 3 weeks ago, and they want to make a deal. We'll see what happens. Thank you. Thank you.
US President Donald Trump has said that a trade deal between the United States and India is coming along great and could be finalized very soon. Speaking to reporters outside the White House on Tuesday, Trump said, and I quote, "I think we'll have a deal with India." End quote. He added that Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who visited the US 3 weeks ago, wants to make a deal. This comes as the Trump administration rushes to sign trade agreements with key partners before a 90-day pause on proposed reciprocal tariff ends in July. Trump had earlier imposed a 26% reciprocal tariff on India. That move was later paused to make space for negotiations. US Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick also confirmed to CNBC that a deal with India is already done but pending final clearance. He said, and I quote, "I have a deal done, but I need to wait for the Prime Minister and their parliament to give its approval." End quote. Reinforcing this, US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the deal could be signed as early as this week or next. He described the agreement as being very close to completion. According to administration sources, both countries have already agreed on a roadmap for the trade discussions. Meanwhile, India is reportedly ready to offer major trade concessions to seal the agreement. According to Reuters, India is willing to include a forward most favored nation clause in the deal. That would mean any better tariff terms India offers another country in the future would automatically apply to the US. This clause is rarely used by India and would effectively future proof the deal for Washington. India has also made a series of preemptive offers to the US, reportedly more generous than those extended to China, Canada, or the European Union. New Delhi is pushing for assurances that it could become a major supplier to the US, especially in sectors where China's role is declining. India has even agreed to bring politically sensitive sectors like agriculture to the discussions, an unusual move in Indian trade negotiations, according to reports. Of the 24 categories of goods traded between the two nations, 19 have already been selected for fast track talks, according to reports. The remaining 5, mostly involving soybeans, corn, and military goods, are expected to be addressed in a later phase. India is also offering steep tariff cuts on US frozen meat, fish, poultry, and several fruits and juices, according to reports. These products currently face import duties of 30 to 100%, but India may reduce them to as low as 0 to 5%. In return, India is seeking favorable tariff treatment for its labor-intensive sectors: textiles, leather, goods, toys, furniture, gems, and auto components. New Delhi is also looking for long-term commitments on preferential access for Indian pharmaceuticals and engineering goods. India wants to position itself as a trusted partner in the supply chains of major American firms. With the July deadline looming, all eyes are now on whether India's cabinet and parliament will give the final nod. That's all for today. We leave you with visuals of devotees performing the evening aarti at Saryu Ghat in Ayodhya, celebrating Akshay Tritiya.